Hello lovely British English and accent learners, welcome to this week's show. On this episode, we're learning some British slang intensifiers, comparative idioms, and how to pronounce the square diphthong. Section 1. British slang intensifiers, super, proper, dead, and why everything is well good. So in this section we're talking about a very British habit, using random little words to turn the volume up on everything. Not louder, not longer, just more. These are called intensifiers, and British English uses them constantly in informal speech. The trick is, they sound simple, but they rely heavily on stress and tone. Let's decode them. What is an intensifier? An intensifier is a word that makes an adjective stronger. Easy is super easy. Busy becomes mega busy. And good becomes well good. They don't really change the meaning, they change the feeling. And in British English, they're often informal, slightly exaggerated, and rhythm dependent. So, super, mega, ultra. That was super easy. She's super organised. It's neutral, friendly, and very common in speech. And then mega. I'm mega busy today. That film was mega awkward. It's slightly playful, very conversational. Ultra. It's an ultra-modern flat. They're ultra-cautious. A bit more polished, often used with abstract or design-related adjectives. And then we have proper, very British. This one catches learners out. That music is proper loud. I'm proper tired. It does not mean correct here, it means very. It's informal, spoken, and extremely British. And then we have dead, which is quite common in the north of the UK. This one surprises people. That comedian's dead funny. I'm dead serious. No, nothing is actually dead. This just means really or extremely, especially common in the north of England, but widely understood across the UK. Tone matters here. It's usually relaxed, amused, or empathetic. Well, now this is a UK slang favourite. It's a classic. That's well good. She's well clever. Grammatically, it's questionable. Socially, completely normal. Well plus an adjective is informal, friendly, very British. So let's have a mini practice. Say these out loud and naturally. Super easy. Mega busy. Proper awkward. Dead funny. Well good. Keep the rhythm smooth. Don't overact it. British English doesn't always add meaning, it adds attitude. These intensifiers are less about vocab and more about rhythm, stress, and sounding relaxed and natural. Once you notice them, you'll hear them everywhere. Section 2. British comparative idioms, as dead as a dodo, as free as a bird, and why we love them. Comparative idioms are everywhere in everyday speech. Let's explore some favourites. So what are comparative idioms? They follow a simple pattern: as plus adjective plus as plus noun. But the noun is rarely logical. It's imaginative, visual, and slightly ridiculous. That's the point. So some classic British comparative idioms are as dead as a dodo. That phone is as dead as a dodo. Completely dead, no hope. The dodo is famously extinct, hence the drama. As proud as a peacock. She was as proud as a peacock after the presentation. Peacocks show off their feathers. This idiom suggests visible pride. As free as a bird. As free as a bird. Once the exams were over, I felt as free as a bird. Freedom, lightness, no restrictions. As busy as a bee. I can't talk, I'm as busy as a bee today. Cheerful, slightly apologetic busyness. Very British. As quiet as a mouse. The house was as quiet as a mouse. Often used with children or suspicious situations. As blind as a bat. Without my glasses, I'm as blind as a bat. Self-deprecating and informal, common in everyday conversation. As cool as a cucumber. Everyone else panicked. She stayed as cool as a cucumber. Calm under pressure, emotionally unruffled. And we have as light as a feather. This suitcase is as light as a feather. Exaggerated friendly comparison, not literal. As flat as a pancake. As flat as a pancake. My car tyre is as flat as a pancake. Often used for tyres, batteries and enthusiasm. As strong as an ox. She's as strong as an ox. Traditional, slightly old-fashioned, but still understood. As happy as a clam. He's as happy as a clam in his new job, meaning very content. As clear as mud. Well, that explanation was as clear as mud. This one is sarcastic. It actually means not clear at all. Very British and very dry. So, in natural speech, as is quite weak. The adjective tends to carry the stress. The noun is said smoothly, not carefully. As dead as a dodo. Can you hear that? As is weak. As dead as a dodo. As dead as a dodo. So let's try some of these out loud again. As free as a bird. As busy as a bee. As quiet as a mouse. As cool as a cucumber. Let the rhythm do the work. Comparative idioms are expressive, memorable and very natural in British English. They'll help you sound fluent, relaxed and less like you're translating in your head. And yes, British English does love a good animal comparison. Section 3. Booking a pet sitter. Real British English you'll actually need. In today's real-life British English scenario is one where people suddenly become very precise. Booking a pet sitter. Because this isn't just admin. This is your animal, your home, your routines, and your peace of mind. So the English becomes careful, detailed, and politely intense. Let's look at how this conversation really sounds. The opening question from you, the pet owner. Hi, I'm looking for someone who could look after my dog for a couple of days next weekend. Would you be available? Okay, so looking for, we're linking it together. Looking for. Notice that for is weak. For. Could is again weak. Could. Would you, again links, would you? And available, the stress lands on the vowel, available. So this sentence sounds polite, it's flexible and non-pushy. Exactly right. So the pet sitter might respond, possibly yes, what dates were you thinking of exactly? So possibly often means probably. Were you? So we're really running those two words together. So you respond, from Friday afternoon until Sunday evening, possibly Monday morning, depending on travel. So the pet sitter might say, lovely, and can you tell me a bit about your dog? A bit about. Are you hearing those schwas? So then you offer up some information. Yes, he's a 3-year-old Labrador, very friendly, good with people, but a little anxious around other dogs. 3-year-old. Now we flow this together as one unit. 3-year-old. little, that we've got a very soft t in there. And the pet sitter might follow on by saying, and has he been left with a sitter before? Has he? That has sounds more z sound, has he, when it's linked with the he. And been often sounds like been. Has he been left? When you reduce it in connected speech. So your response could be, yes, a couple of times. He settled really well. Couple of. Then the pet sitter may inquire, would you prefer him to stay in your own home or come to kennels? And you could respond, ideally we'd prefer him to stay at home. He's much more relaxed here. Ideally softens the preference. So you might want to start now a conversation about the routine that your dog's in. So you might say, in the evenings, would someone be able to pop round later to let him out before bed? Pop round is informal and it's friendly. And the pet sitter may say, yes, that's no problem. That would just be an extra visit after his walk and tea. So just is very light, walk and tea. That and is reduced to a n, walk and tea. The pet sitter may ask, I assume food would be provided. So I assume is polite, it's not demanding. And same as would be. And you might respond, yes, of course, we'll leave all his food, bowls, lead and everything he needs. So the lists will flow quickly. And the pet sitter may start to bring the conversation to a close by saying, would it be possible for me to pop round beforehand just to meet him, see where everything is and pick up a key? Again, another list. Would it be possible is a classic British politeness phrase. Pick up a key is another everyday phrase. Pick up a key. And you'd respond, yes, absolutely. That would be ideal. So absolutely here means yes, please do. And finally, talking about costs, but very gently. So you could say, and just so I know, what would the cost be for the weekend, including the extra evening visit? So just so I know, it sort of softens that question. People are generally more uncomfortable talking about price or rates, costs. And the pet sitter can bring the conversation to a close by saying, that would be £25 per day with a small additional charge for the extra visit. So this conversation works because nothing is rushed, details are shared calmly, and politeness comes before efficiency. British English, especially around pets, is about care, reassurance and trust. Get the rhythm right and everything sounds kinder. Section 4. How to pronounce the square diphthong. So what is the square diphthong? So the square diphthong appears in words like care, fair, there, where, bear, hair, chair, stairs, pair. It's one of those centering diphthongs in British RP English, meaning it glides towards the central schwa sound. So how to get this right? Step 1, start with the eh sound. Begin with your tongue in a mid-front position. Your jaw should be moderately open, not as closed as E, which you use in C, but not as open as A, as you hear in cat. Your lips are unrounded and slightly spread, and the sound is similar to the vowel in bed or said, but held slightly longer. Air. Think of it as the first part of the journey your mouth will make. And then step 2 is when we're gliding smoothly towards a more schwa sound. So your jaw relaxes and closes slightly, and the sound becomes weaker and more neutral. The schwa is the most common vowel in English. It's the sound in about or sofa. The movement should be smooth and continuous, not two separate sounds. So keep it as one syllable. The entire sound, air, in one smooth glide. Don't pause between the two sounds, between the and the sounds. The whole diphthong takes the same time as a single vowel. Think of it as one flowing movement, like a wave. So let's do these common words again, paying attention to that smooth glide. Say them after me. Care, fair, there, where, hair, stairs, chair, bear, where, pair. Now, I'm going to run through quickly some common mistakes by language background. So, if you're a Spanish speaker, Spanish doesn't have the air diphthong or the schwa sound. Spanish speakers often pronounce it as a single vowel closer to the air in bed. So, care might sound like ke. Or they might add a separate a sound, making it ke-a, as two distinct syllables rather than a smooth glide. So how to fix this? Practice the schwa sound separately first, the as in about, then practice gliding from to schwa without stopping. Record yourself and compare it to my native voice. You should hear one syllable, not two. French speakers. So while French has nasal vowels and some complex sounds, the air diphthong doesn't exist in their system. They typically substitute it with a r sound, their own r sound, making fair sound like fer without the schwa ending. So the key is adding that schwa glide at the end. So after saying the initial don't stop. Let your tongue relax backwards towards a. Your mouth should keep moving after the initial German speakers. German, again, lacks this specific diphthong. They might pronounce it as a long E sound or add a more prominent a at the end, making it sound less smooth and more like two separate vowels. So avoid making the second part too strong. The schwa is weak and neutral. It's not a clear a sound. Japanese speakers. So with their limited vowel system, Japanese speakers often pronounce this as plus a in two distinct syllables. So where becomes wea rather than that smooth glide. So how to fix it? Focus on keeping it as one syllable, one beat. Maybe try humming through the sound continuously. Your voice should never stop. Mandarin Chinese speakers. Mandarin, again, doesn't have this sound, and the schwa doesn't exist in their phonetic inventory. So they might break it into a and an a sound. So again, master the schwa sound, the weak vowel in unstressed syllables, then practice the glide as one continuous motion. Think of it like drawing a smooth curve, not two dots. And finally, Arabic speakers. Arabic lacks both the exact starting vowel quality and the glide to schwa, so often they simplify it to a single vowel sound. So fix this by paying attention to both parts. Start with the as in bed, and then add that schwa glide. Make sure you're actually producing a diphthong, that's two vowel sounds, rather than just the single vowel. So to recap, the square diphthong requires three essential elements. Start with the sound, not too close, not too open. Then smoothly gliding to the schwa, which is weak, central and relaxed, but doing this as one continuous movement within a single syllable. Many languages either lack diphthongs entirely, lack the schwa sound, or have different diphthong patterns, making this particularly tricky to master. Why not have a go at minimal pairs so you can practice these to hear the difference? So we've got bed, bear, met, mare, det, dare. Can you hear those differences? Bed, bear, met, mare, det, dare. Okay, I'd like you to repeat these sentences. Make sure you're using that glide in the diphthong. Where's the chair? There's a bear over there. Take care of your hair. That's not fair. So I'd like you to record yourself saying these square words and compare it with mine. Listen out. Is it one syllable or two? Does the sound glide smoothly? And is the second part, the schwa sound, weak and relaxed? Start with slightly spread lips, then relax them. Your tongue, front to centre, no tension. And diphthongs are typically slightly longer than single vowels. And in words like careful, careful, the square diphthong gets the main stress. And if you think a video guide would be helpful to perfecting this RP British accent sound, you can find this and videos for all the other British accent sounds in Course 1 of the British Accent Bundle. Go to learningbritishaccent.com/bundle. And there we come to the end of yet another episode. I hope you found it both entertaining and helpful on your accent journey. If you're able to make a donation to keep the show going, please do. I have links in the show notes for Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. Every penny really does help. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.